Hi, welcome to Property Management Training Online. I'm Jessica Civils, Director of the program, and I will be your workshop host throughout the entire process. As you, as you saw earlier, a video on CIC and our Preservation Compact, pretty much giving you the insight of what we do and why we do it. Also, to let you know, the CIC, we are a lender for residential commercial. And if you want more information about our lending, go to our website, cicchicago.com/, basic multifamily. So you can learn more about our lending. So let's get into the actual workshop. Sorry about that. Let me go back. So the workshop is designed, as you know, this was a actual live workshop prior to March of 2020. So I'm super excited that you chose CIC to give you your introduction on becoming a landlord. So the class was actually, it came about as a need pretty much, um, uh, back in the 1998, when they decided that it was a need, the smaller mid-sized landlords, they needed additional education. What was happening is a lot of new investors or small landlords, they were inheriting property or they were getting it in unconventional ways. And they pretty much didn't have any idea about how to function or run a apartment building properly in the city of Chicago. So it's a such thing called the Chicago Landlord Tenant Ordinance, and you will learn a lot about it throughout this webinar. And it was just created based on that. So we do cover, like I said, the marketing, fair housing, Chicago landlord tenant ordinance, and then, a couple of other areas. So that was pretty much about the workshop. Now let's get into the online platform. So each session that you will see has the printable PowerPoint presentation along with the printable manual pages. You guys you should have received an email from me that attached the full manual that you could print out at your leisure. At some point in the near future, hopefully we'll get together and I can invite you to a live workshop so you can actually get a printed copy of the manual. But for the meantime, I have you guys the printed manual pages, and then also some example handouts that are listed. They're listed. Each module will have, if it's additional handouts, you'll see them listed. So these are the questions. I mean, these are the. So first you would actually take the investing section. Actually investing, that's just going through the nuts and bolts of investing. That is not a required session, but it is something that we thought was important, especially for you to get started in your investing life. Next, we will have the Chicago Landlord Tenant Ordinance that is taught by an attorney, and that goes through the entire ordinance, pretty much the high points of pretty much how you not to get sued and how to deal with tenants and how to abide by the ordinance. Then second, we have the fair housing. Now in fair housing, it has two videos. The initial video is a current video about the fair housing laws in Cook County, just ordinance. It was taught by a couple of different individuals. And then we also have the standard, meaning the 7 protected classes, so you can get a good understanding of fair housing and what that means. And then third, we will have a marketing and tenant selection and screening. That's a pretty good section, and that's taught by myself, and which shows you pretty much how to recruit, select, and get good tenants. And again, there's no silver bullet for that. And then we have a test and a certificate, and then that's pretty much it. So let's get into it. So Zillow did a survey a couple of years back, just asking, a question, renters that don't know the basic laws, just 2 questions. Do you understand? Do you even know that there is some, ordinance or basic housing laws? The funny outcome that we discovered was that renters, 47% of the renters, they had no idea that it was an ordinance. And even worse, 50% of the landlords had no idea. And again, that's because either they were self taught, not interested, maybe used the outside property management company. And it's not that I'm against using outside property management company, because again, that's based on your business model and then what you desire to do. But you also being the owner, you would need to know what that ordinance says, because the responsibility is ultimately yours. Now, here are four common reasons why landlords fail. One, lack of property management knowledge. They didn't take a basic class like this. Legal mistakes. They pretty much didn't understand the ordinance. Rental agreement mistakes. They might have got a lease or decided to create a lease themselves that wasn't in compliance, or it missed a few things. And then bad accounting. The reason why we have bad accounting up there is because accounting, again, the goal, this is probably the beginning of this could be the beginning of your investment life, but the accounting piece is so critical, is because this you want to grow your portfolio. So if you purchase a 2 flat, 3 flat, you want the next level should be a 5, 6, 10 unit building. And it's basically, how did you manage it? Had the cash flow. You want to monitor your expenses and your revenues. So bad accounting, you need an accounting system in place. And we'll talk about several options in the marketing and tenant selections, the pretty much the best practice section. So we have the good, right? The good part is that it's long-term wealth, the rental income, retirement income, right? The goal is, this is supposed to be residual income, additional income. That's the good part, right? That's the sweet spot. That's the goal. That's what we want to accomplish. This is supposed to be, the building's supposed to sustain itself and then have an additional revenue, a positive revenue every month. That's the ultimate goal. That's the good part. Now let's talk about the bad part, your time. Guess what? This is a people business. So now it does consume your time in some areas of another. Even if you decide to outsource it, you decide you're going to hire a property management company, you're going to hire a maintenance crew, or groundskeeper to maintain the building. You're still going to have to interact with people at some point, and it will consume your time. Property upkeep. These repairs are your responsibility. Yeah, even if you pass the management off to the management company, at the end of the line, the buck stops with you, and it's for your approval to get this paid off or get these repairs done. And then no ROI. ROI stands for return on investment, meaning the building is not, your rents are either too low and they're not cash flowing, or it's something in the building that either, it's like you might have heating issues or water issues, that it's not cash flowing properly. So, at the end of the day, you're thinking you're receiving some type of return, but you're not, because you're constantly putting in the building because it's deficient somewhere. So you want to be mindful of that. And then finding good tenants. Everyone wants to know the silver bullet of finding a new tenant, finding the best tenant. Jessica, they always ask, is there, just how do I find the best tenant? These are people, right? People, look what we're going through right now. I mean, this is June of 2020. We've never had a situation like this. However, your screening process will be key. And also, you will need to stick to your principles, whatever they are. As far as your business model, when you get into selecting whatever you want to do, as far as what you can tolerate in your investment property. I just want to keep that in mind. It's a lot of industry standards out here, but you also want to keep in mind what's best for you. And you create your own business model, how you want to operate your building. And then the ugly. I just got repeat in there, because it's your time, your money, and evictions. Your time, you cannot get time back. So I'm recommending, again, you want to choose wisely. And when you think about your investment property, you want to think about places that you can manage in. You know, Chicago, it's a great city, has, you know, different areas, but you want to be comfortable as an owner that wherever property you invest in, that you're comfortable to go there to manage your property. And then evictions. That's something that we want to avoid at all costs, but it happens in your investment life. It happens, and evictions are not free and they are not pretty. So, with that said, let's get into it a little more. You can do this, right? I'm super excited that you're taking these steps. Even just taking this class shows that you're committed or at least curious as far as what you want to do as, you know, a part of being an investor. Our advice is that you start small, right? We understand that you drive in different neighborhoods and you see these great buildings and you want to say, well, you know, I want to invest in the neighborhood. I want to invest in the community. That's great. And we love that. Again, CIC, that's our mission, to be in the communities. However, I also want you to make sure it makes financial sense, right? And I also want you to recognize that being a landlord is a business. So you want to structure it and conduct it as a business, right? We want you to be friendly, but not creating friendships. It's a business, and I want you to treat it as such. Associations you should know. These are three groups. Again, it's several out there, and I'm not recommending that you become a member of these groups, but I just put these groups for reference because again, in investing, it's about education, right? That's key in investing. Three groups. The reason why I chose these three, and here's the reasons why. The Chicagoland Apartment Association, that is the association designed to help you and covers your best interests. They are all things apartments inside of the state of Illinois. I would recommend you get on their mailing list. You don't necessarily have to be a member of their association, but I would recommend you get on their mailing list so you can see what they're talking about. Those are the folks who go to City Hall. Those are the folks who are down in Springfield, who have the lobbyists, who talk about our best interests. And that can reflect from larger buildings to smaller buildings, to current issues to long-term issues. So you want to see what they're talking about because, again, this can affect your bottom line. The second group, IREM, the Institute of Real Estate Management. Now, this particular group covers all of the commercial asset classes, meaning office, retail, um, industrial, residential. This covers all of the gamuts of commercial investments. In case you decide that you might want to operate, I'm pretty sure you've seen like a mixed use property where it has the retail at the bottom, residential up top, or maybe you want to do office suites. That's the association that covers getting you educated on how to operate in those type of different classes. And then the Chicago Association of Realtors. Believe it or not, you're now in real estate. Not that you hold a real estate license, but now you're in the real estate industry because investing is a part of real estate. And you should be using a realtor for your purchase. So you want to see what the realtors are talking about. You want to understand the language. You want to understand what the realtors talk about as well as the bankers talking about. So again, it's a glossary in here so you can understand the language of a commercial transaction. So you can understand how mortgage officers talk. So again, that's my ultimate goal for you. So let's get started. Again, you're going to have questions. You might, you have my contact information, you have my email address. Uh, I did my best to try to capture what you would learn live to an online platform. And I hope you get a lot. You can always go back and watch the videos. If you have additional questions, you can ask me. I recommend you also take our single topic classes that focuses on various topics. Again, this is just the basic intro class, and it is designed to fulfill your requirement. You will get your certificate. It is a small test afterwards, and trust me, relax. It's just a few questions to make sure you understand what you saw. With that being said, good luck, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one.